Folks, we need to talk about what just happened in Ontario. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is finally opening July 27th, but man, did we get taken to the cleaners. Today I'm pulling back the curtain on the Gordie Howe story to show you how Trump has stiffed Canada like he stiffed his workers, to the point that some of them even took their own lives. I break the story down for you into 4 parts. First, the original deal. Canada paid the entire $6.4 billion bill. We were supposed to keep 100% of the tolls until we get paid back. Simple, fair, done deal. Second, the American Shakedown. Trump threatens to keep the bridge closed forever unless Canada surrenders its financial rights and gave the US half of the profit right out of the gate. Third, the vague New Deal. Canada caved. Now we split profits 50-50 for 15 years into a mysterious fund with zero transparency. And fourth, the booze connection. American politicians are now pressuring us to put US booze back on the shelves. And guess what? The $4.7 billion bridge is the perfect reason to tell them, take a hike. Let's get into it. Let's go back to 2012, when the Canadian-Michigan Crossing Agreement was signed. The Michigan legislature refused to share the project cost. So Canada stepped up and we carried the entire 6.4 billion Canadian to build the whole thing. That also included the highway connections on the American side. The deal was crystal clear. Canada gets 100% of the toll revenue until the entire construction debt was paid off. That was estimated to take at least 50 years. Only after the debt was fully recovered would we split profits 50-50 with Michigan. That was the deal, signed, sealed, and seemingly delivered. But here's where it gets interesting. The bridge was essentially ready to go by spring 2026. June ribbon cutting was planned. Then, suddenly, it was cancelled. And who was behind it? Yeah, you guessed it, the orange fascist gangster and extortionist Donald Trump. Trump took to social media in February and demanded Canada hands over at least half ownership of the bridge and accept other unspecified demands. He claimed the original terms were just unacceptable and said the US was getting absolutely nothing. But here's the real kicker, my friends. The billionaire Maroon family, who own the aging Ambassador Bridge, had been fighting the new bridge for decades. They spent millions on legal challenges to protect their monopoly. And get this, less than a month before Trump's extortionist scheme, Matthew Maroon dropped a $1 million donation to a Trump super PAC. And just hours before Trump's social media attack, Maroon met with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in Washington. You know, the same guy who complains about our Canadian boycott, saying it is unfair. Yep, that guy. Coincidence? I'll let you be the judge. So, Mark Carney's government negotiated a resolution to get this bridge open. He had to. Otherwise, it would have been a useless, expensive infrastructure just sitting there. And an infrastructure that is badly needed. But folks, we got hosed. Under the new terms, instead of keeping 100% of the revenue until we get paid back, Canada now gets paid 50% of the profits for the first 15 years. The other 50% goes into a vague regional economic development fund. And who controls that thing? Yep, the Americans. Oh, and it gets worse. Canada can no longer freely manage the toll prices. If we want to raise them by more than 10%, we need US approval. And if we want to lower them below regional average, same thing. We need their okay. And Mark Carney, he's trying to spin this as a good deal for Canada. He says there won't be a lot of net profit to split anyway. So what's the big deal? Well, come on. We took 100% of the financial risk, and now we are giving up guaranteed revenue for 15 years? That's a shitty deal, plain and simple. But the bridge is built. Trump can keep the American side blocked. So, did Carney really had a choice? It was extortion, plain and simple. Now let's connect the dots to something else. Canada's provincial ban on American alcohol. This ban has hit US producers hard. Canada was formerly America's top wine export market, but our ban has drastically reduced American exports. Now American lawmakers actively lobbying to lift the ban, citing economic harm. Oh, really? And Trump's team is pressuring Canada to put US booze back on the shelves. But here's the thing. Ontario's wineries like Westcourt Vineyards have seen major sale growth since the ban. Small producers are thriving and they want the ban to stay in place. Quebec and Ontario keeping the ban at least until the US removes their stupid tariffs. And they absolutely should. This bridge shakedown is part of a bigger pattern. Trump's lifelong negotiation tactic is simple. Threaten to block something, demand concession, and get the other side to fold. The New Deal gives the US veto power over toll increases, allows them to control a development fund under Trump's oversight, and sets a dangerous precedent for future bilateral projects. If Canada can be forced to renegotiate a completed deal afterwards, what's next? So what's the message here? Plain and simple. What goes around, comes around. The American used leverage to squeeze us on this bridge. They delayed the opening, cost us money, and broke the deal. But here's the thing. We have leverage too, and I know Mark Carney will not forget this Trump move. That 4.7 billion bridge paid for, that's our asset, and we should not roll over on the booze ban, just because Washington demands it. American booze should not get back on Canadian shelves. Not until those tariffs are gone and we start getting treated like a partner instead of a patsy. So here's my question for you. Was Mark Carney right to compromise on this bridge? Or should Canada have held out for a better deal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, folks. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching. I'm Wilfried Lemkula with Europe Curious, where we don't just repeat the daily headlines, but open the curtain so you can see for yourself what's really behind it. See you in the next one.